The Seahawks came out of the gates on fire, and by halftime, they had already landed the knockout punch.
Shit's embarrassing. To lose like that at home, in primetime game, man. Like, you can say we're so much better than that, but like, we did, proof is there, right? We didn't play well enough, and so that shit is, excuse me, but it's annoying. It's frustrating as shit.
A rough loss for the Commanders, and this one really stings. This team is missing the mark on both sides of the ball.
Again, it's you try your best to remain positive. You understand this is not who we are. This is not who we want to be. We put ourselves in this position, and we have to get ourselves out of this position. We need to go back to the drawing board. We need to really look at things and figure out a way to be better. 4 straight losses, and the questions just keep piling on. Changing the course and digging out of this hole, that won't be easy for a team that right now has no answers. The offense is still searching for rhythm, and now they've got to do it without JD5. The defense is struggling on all fronts, and keeping opponents out of the end zone has almost been impossible. The alarms are sounding. 7 games left in the season, and next stop, here comes the Lions. Plenty to unpack this week on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus.
The man
Call somebody,
is back,
call
y'all.
somebody.
We're
He's
back.
Call
He's
your
back.
mama, call your daddy.
We're back and we're back.
We're back.
Tony McGee,
He's back, y'all.
We're back.
Tony
McGee.
Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee, Pro Football Plus. Tony McGee.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50-some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Crystal City Sports Pub, located in the heart of National Landing, is ranked one of the top 20 sports bars in the country. We are open 365 days a year. Crystal City Sports Pub, with its laid-back atmosphere, is the place to be. We offer 3 levels, over 100 TVs, an 18-foot video wall, pool tables, 3 full bars featuring 11 beers on tap, an extensive menu, and super friendly staff. We offer on- and off-site catering and ample space to host private parties and gatherings. Come experience Crystal City Sports Pub. It is the place to be.
But just like we come here happy when they win, we come here a little bit sad right now. But we're going to get out a lot of congratulations. First of all, congratulations to a defensive line that don't even know what number the quarterback had. You did a great job. Congratulations to the linebackers that didn't cover a tight end. I think I could have come out. Congratulations to a defensive back that couldn't catch a cold. Congratulations to a wide receiver that couldn't stop a cold. Congratulations to an offensive line that played in their backfield the whole game. And then congratulations to the special teams. You helped us out too. But I know all of you college players didn't know that money you pick up on Monday, that you had to use it and you had to play for it. So now you know. You let a team come in here and dog you. No, I'm not going to be nice. We got some other people coming in, but we're going to kick this round right now. We're going to take a look at this. So I got Michael Baker, Donna Hawkins, who had to go into the pit. We're going to talk about this a little time. You said G-Man coming on a little later?
Tony, G-Man, Gary Clark is coming on. Solomon will be here because he's rolled up. And then Rick Doc Walker will be joining us also, Tony. So it's a lot happening this week because everybody want to chime in.
But you know what? Let me correct this. My wife's just telling me that I said college. I did that on purpose because I don't know of any pro players that would play like that. They must have forgot that they're pros. And I'm not being hard on them right now. Here we are at the middle of the season. We had aspirations 3 or 4 weeks ago about going to the Super Bowl. Now we're just trying to get out with a winning season. And Mike, I mean, what do you think about that? You are the one that I give you credit. You said that they wouldn't win another game.
I did. Solomon reminded me last week. I said they may not win another game this year, simply because I could see early on that once they lost a couple of their defensive players, some of the older players, the ones that were getting the pass rush in that first game against the Giants. I mean, that was a pretty good defense. And once you started losing people like that, it was going to be tough because you just really don't have any really super qualified backups. But you know, Tony, I'm not really qualified to talk about the play of any one player because it's one sport I'd never played. I didn't even play in high school. But I will say one thing that I've been keeping track of every week because it's something that I can do. And that is the one thing that I think that the coaches can control are these killing penalties. When they play good teams, Tony, they average at least 7 penalties and at least 65 yards per game that they're penalized. Now, against the Seahawks, Washington had 8 penalties for 87 yards. So I went back, I took about an hour and a half looking through my notes today. Do you realize that in their 9 games, that has meant a 41-point negative swing? Mm-hmm. Now, that's on the coaches. I know the players commit the penalties, but come on, when you were playing, Coach Gibbs had referees out there at the practices. He worked, very closely with you all to bring the penalties down. I put that 41-point swing on the coaches. Now, I am qualified to talk about that.
Well, I look at that, and I'm going to come to Donna right now, but as you said, when we played, it wasn't just a mistake. It was the way the flow of the game would go, and that's what happens a lot of times. That's what happened to them. And when you are doing well, or you are getting turned over, but you turn it back over, or you're doing nothing with them, that's a waste of time. That's why I said I know there had to be college players out there because pros wouldn't go out there and do that. And Donna, when you go in the locker room, I know you're going to hear all that. Well, we got to change up, and hey, that's Jack. You got 5 or 6 games that you got to play in the next 5 or 6 weeks, or the last 2 you can just mail them in.
Hey, Tony. I didn't hear any of that on Sunday night as far as we have to do this because everybody was shook up with the fact that Jayden Daniels went down with that injury late in the fourth quarter. And Coach Wynn said in his presser that he takes that on his shoulder. He said 100% that is on him because he was going to pull them out the next play, but he got hurt before that happened. But Tony, this offensive line and the defensive line in the trenches is not getting it done. The offensive line has all their people back, Tony, and they cannot steal pass protection, pass block, run block. Jayden, 42% of the time was running for his life because he had to run because Seattle came in with one of the best defenses. We know that. But come on, it's not just this week. Last week, offensive line couldn't pass block, couldn't run block. And in the trenches, they're getting beat on both sides of the ball. And Tony, they got hit. Jayden Daniels, let me go back there. He has a dislocated elbow, but they took a hit in some other areas, Tony. They were already banged up with so many injuries this year. And here we go with a few more. Luke McCaffrey on the first play. He's going to be out for a minute with a broken collarbone. And then Marshawn Lattimore out, Tony, ACL injury, gone for the season. Don't know about Trey Amos because he had a hip injury. Quan Martin with a hamstring. And then, of course, Jayden Daniels. But this team, Tony, is just not playing together. It's not a good team right now because we keep going back each week, during the week, asking the coaches, what are they thinking? They said, we got to do this, that. And they haven't done that, Tony. 4 straight losses for this Commanders team with the lines coming in. But before I beat this over the head, because I'm not satisfied. You said we're sad. Yes, we're sad about Jayden, but I'm more mad about a team that, to me, can't put the pieces together to figure out how do you stop the opponent from scoring, and then how do you score on offense, something that they're having a hard time doing, Tony. So let's go into the locker room to hear from the players, because I didn't ask many questions, Tony, because I didn't even know what to say at this moment.
Just keep going to work, man. Flush it, keep going to work. I mean, what is there to do, you know what I mean? Like I said, man, we ain't going out here and just automatically like we're going to lose. Like, that's not the mindset. We put in the work, man, and, you know, it's frustrating for sure, but the only thing we can do is look ourselves in the mirror and correct ourselves first, and then, you know, just be very critical of yourself on the film and what you can do better. For myself, I'm speaking for myself, you know what I mean? So that's the type of mindset I'm trying to approach it, and you know, that's all I can do.
Keep working, be better, execute better, don't have as many penalties. Look at yourself first and foremost, see how you can play better. I got to get rid of the penalties, but the pre-snap penalties on my part can't happen. I've been in this league too long, so I take complete ownership of that. And you got 53 other guys, 46 guys on game day up. Got to do the same thing.
Football is a violent game, and it's something that we understand going into it. With that being said, it still hurts. And, you know, we all kind of talked about it afterwards, just being there for him. You know, I understand it. I've been down that road a little bit, and the more that we can just kind of love up on him and making sure that he feels supported and know that he's not doing this thing alone, I think is important for him.
I mean, he's a big part of, you know, what we do as an offense, and, you know, it sucks. And to see that happen and to be in when it happens, you know, you feel like there's things you could have done to, you know, help avoid that. But, you know, I'm praying for him, praying for a speedy recovery, and, you know, we'll get this thing rolling.
Hey, Chris, this is just hard all the way around. Just talk about this game, and like you said, to lose your quarterback like that too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be a competitor in this league, man, you're gonna lose some, but at the same time, man, this one hurts and it stings. But you know, we gotta find a way to get the ball back moving, get the ball rolling forward, and you know, we'll 24 hours this and put it behind us, and you know, we got another game in 7 days.
Hey, Bill, this is tough, but even tougher when you have your quarterback going down.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's a big part of what we do, and it's tough seeing him go down like that.
You know, JD is one of them ones. He's a special kid, and to see him go down like that and been out there for a long time, it's like, you know, it's scary. You know what I mean? But he stood up on his own 2 feet and he walked off the field, and that's somebody you can play with, man. He's a true dog, and I'm going every Sunday with him.
And Tony, you know what? In these games, Coach Quinn said they missed the mark, and they sure did on all cylinders. But it's the way they're losing these games, ugly losses, Tony, where, you know, so many mistakes is repeated over and over each week. That, to me, is the most upsetting part about this team right now. And it'd be one thing if they was making mistakes, different mistakes, but it's the same old mistakes, Tony, each and every week. And this one by far was the ugliest loss, besides that Dallas game a couple of weeks ago.
But you know why it's the same story? Because they're saying the same thing. We got to get better. No, you got to do your job. If you do your job, you'll get better. It ain't time to keep accepting that we can get better what we want. If you're not doing the job, you're not getting better. Each and every one of them need to get out there and play ball. All this is, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. That, to me, that's a lack of confidence. One thing I can tell you about our Super Bowl team, when we got whooped, we scrimmaged each other the next week, because we was not going to let that happen. So therefore, they're saying the right things. In the defense, anytime you give up 780 yards, it ain't a lot you can say. But let's go to the offensive ball when we come back, for the simple reason that we said you need a bell call to run that ball. That didn't happen. And that was what they needed to settle themselves down against Seattle. So therefore, you look at all the little mistakes and wide receiver, they out there honoring Art Monk and honoring Gary and stuff. They should have been trying to talk them into playing. But with that being said, I told you in the opening, not just defensive backs, but those receivers couldn't catch a cold. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, welcome home. It's Michelle Van Allen from Van Allen Real Estate. I am over 20 years experienced in this real estate game. We all know that right now in this market takes an experienced agent to get you what you need. All of you sellers, if you're considering putting your house on the market, please give me a call. I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk to you to find out where you place in this market. Hey, you first-time home buyers, remember, right now is the perfect time. It's a buyer's market to get you into your first dream home. Hey, you investors, this is an amazing time to invest. If you ever thought about it, give me a call. We can talk about it. We can talk about specific properties that are on your radar and mine. Give me a call. I'd be more than happy to welcome you into the Van Allen Real Estate team. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Welcome back. You know what? I'm a little bit happy because I see a face coming to the studio I haven't seen in a long time. And my man was just talking some stuff right now, but we know whenever you get sick, you got to bring the doctor in. And we bought Rick Doc Walker. What's up, man?
Hey,
Rick,
Anthony, that's good. How's Novena? First of all, everything starts with Novena.
That's how you're gonna know if I do the show right?
Exactly. I got to know that this is going to be a nice, safe pickup.
You know, man, she paid you that money years ago. You don't have to.
No, she didn't. No, I watched her work. I watched her work. I saw how, yeah, man. What she's done over the years is short of a miracle. It really is.
41 of them.
41 years she's been doing this.
That's unbelievable.
And I was always been impressed by ventriloquists. And that's how I see her as a ventriloquist. And so she works through you, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm so proud of y'all.
Listen to you. But you know, Rick, let's get to talking. We talk a game, and I'm glad because I'm like you. When you go home at night after you've been in that game, I know you and Donna had to be a little bit salty. But at the same time, let's digress and go back and look at this offense. I don't know, and it really looked like to me that Daniels was trying to prove to the world that he could take licks. But it was up to his coaches not to put him in that situation. And Doc, I've been telling everybody that I've been interviewing with this morning, they should have used the dash. And you know what I mean when I use the dash. Because we used that with Theismann. It was very successful. No need to sit in that hole, and you know better than anybody, and let him get beat up. Then when he was running, he was going down head first instead of on his hip so they wouldn't hit him. So he was trying to prove something. But that's when the coach have to get hold of that young boy and pull it off. But he had to run the offensive line. Tell me what's happening, Doc.
Well, they got bum rushed. And when you don't run the ball, everybody kind of knows now that we have to be forced to run the ball. Mm-hmm. It's not in our nature. We would rather trick you. We'd rather have an illusion. We're an artist. See, so when you work, and he's a very, very talented man. I like what Cliff is capable of doing. But it's like movies. We all pick, most of the ones I like are rated at a point that most people can't get in. Mm-hmm. So Cliff is an acquired taste. I respect the hell out of him. But it's not how I see offensive football. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe in it. Because his way, I have to be fortunate. My way, I just knock the door down. And if I get 4 or 5 bigger, stronger people than you and a couple of backs, I can neutralize the advantage and make it in my way, and there's nothing you can do about it. Mm-hmm. Because once I prove to you can't physically stop us, then I'm in control. And I don't have to count on you forgetting something, you none of that voodoo. And I think it's a simple course. And the Seahawks, man, what an example of how you don't have to be fancy to be really good.
Yeah, I had no idea they were as good as they are.
Oh,
but
they're really good. Yeah.
Well, Tony, Gary has just joined us. Because
Oh, wait.
he was
Wow.
so mad.
Everybody talk. You hear that?
Well, I'm glad y'all let me in for the short time I was in.
Hey, Tony, he was so mad that he said that he needed to take a breath of fresh air for a minute before he came over here to get himself together.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, it's a hard game to watch and look at, unfortunately. And the funny thing about it is it's just a matter of the players taking it upon themselves to become a better football player. And I think that's what they're not doing right now. I think they're not taking it upon themselves to make themselves a better football player. Perfect example is they automatically go in right after practice. That is just the worst thing you can ever do if you're trying to become the best player at your position in the world.
Hello.
You can't do that.
Mm-hmm. You're 100% right. And gee, that's one thing. I don't never hear them talking about studying at home. I know that's old school, but I used to take the projector home. A projector, listen to me.
Yeah. You talking about a projector.
Every night. But then you know what the thing about it, G, and I wanted to ask you about this. We know none of the receivers have cold because they can't even catch a cold.
You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Our tight end is one of the best tight ends in the league.
I know.
He's one of the best tight ends in the league. And, you know, when you're not the starting receiver and then you get a chance to start, you have to take advantage of that opportunity because at the end of the day, you're all professional football players. You all should be able to do the job when you're called upon. So it's a perfect example to make people worry about how good you are when you get a chance to play when your starters are out. So, I mean, we hope that we have a better – I mean, I do like our receiving core, though. Seriously, I like our backups. I do like our receiving core. But at some point in time, somebody's going to have to take it upon their own shoulder to be like, I'm the guy, put it on my back, let's go.
Yeah, I just want to ask you one thing, Donna, before we ask. I know this is off the brand, but gee, you was with the King yesterday. And I tell you what, I looked at him, he looked good to me. The three of you guys look good. Was it nice for y'all to be back together and just have that feeling? And did they have to tape up your ankles for you to go on the sideline or what?
They had to tape up the hamstrings, that's for sure. But, you know, it's always good being together with Ricky and Art, you know, and it's, you know, long overdue that Art's jersey is being retired. You know, I mean, they never let anybody wear it after he stopped playing for them. So to wait this long to finally retire it, you know, officially, it was crazy to me. But I'm so glad that they've done it. Art, you know, he's still a man of few words, but he spoke more on Sunday than he'd had in months about himself, so to speak. So glad to see that he was happy and good spirit, had his entire family there. It was about 30 monks there, all participating in the event. It was just a great day and a great celebration. And the stadium was packed for it. That's what makes it so special. The stadium was packed. Nobody expected to have a sold-out house. Nobody expected that. I think Art Monk having his jersey retired had a lot to do with it.
No question.
Amen.
Donna, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, because I want to go back to these receivers because Gary said players got to play. They got to step up, Tony. And now you depleted even more so because Luke McCaffrey is out. I told you with that broken collarbone. So you got Deebo Samuels, which when he does catch the ball, when they do utilize him, and they even had to put him back there returning punts again or running the ball in the backfield since they won't give it to the running backs. Chris Rodriguez comes in and really produces. I don't know why they're not using him a lot more. He was the leading back yesterday on Sunday. But Tony, now they're down Deebo Samuels, Chris Moore, Jalen Lane, who has to step up, Tony, because he's dropping too many balls, and then his play has not been great on special teams returning since the early part of the season. And then Burke is a guy that they bought in that played a little bit. So this is what you got, Tony. So you got to basically go with what you got. And the trade deadline is coming up on Tuesday. They better do some savvy stuff to try to work out getting some more bodies in here or figure out how they're going to finish this season decently, because Tony was talking about Super Bowl, Rick, and I was like, how about just winning a game?
No, wait a minute, John.
I called him out, Rick.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to take
Thank
a little
you.
break here, but hey, Mike, when we come back, even our special teams, I mean, you think about
You
it.
better talk about your defense.
I know, I'm trying to get away from that because there's
No.
nothing to talk about. And I tell you what, finally, when players start playing a little bit better, they get hurt. Then, as we said, the defensive line did not even know what number the quarterback had on. You don't even know who played because there wasn't much action up there and everything. But you know the one thing, guys, about this that can happen, they can improve that. All it is about techniques. And the one thing I did say about this young team a couple of weeks ago is they're not superstars, but they're good generation players. They didn't show that on against Seattle. What they got to do is pull it together. Super Bowl player, you ain't talking nothing. You're talking pride now. When you go out in that field, now mess around and go out there with Detroit, you get ran over like it's the Motor City. We'll be back in a moment.
People don't know the real story of what happened.
It was an unbelievable series of events and an unbelievable time.
Their championship was taken away from them in 1969. We are living in their championship now.
50 some years later, good is coming from it. They are impacting state after state after state after state.
And we're going to show the world how to love.
Looking for top-notch sports officials who know the game inside and out? The Greater Potomac Officials Association, GPOA, proudly serves the military community throughout our region, with nearly 90% of our officials being military retirees, active duty service members, or guardsmen. We bring unmatched discipline, professionalism, and integrity to every contest. From youth leads to adult alumni, our officials cover it all. Want to learn more about GPOA or bring our officials to your program? Contact owner and CEO Earl Teller III at 202-498-2032 or email him at gr8rpotomac@comcast.net.
Now, I said that we would work with the special team, but we got to finish a little bit with the defense. You know, Donna's not happy unless she throw you all the way up under the car. She don't just
I tell the truth.
Rush you. She wanted to run over you. But I can't get mad at you, Donna, because for the simple aspect, it's some people that I don't even know if they played the other day. I never heard their name, never saw any action. And I'm not going to call out any names because I'm not that type of guy. But they put their hand in the dirt. Do you think so?
Hey, Tony, all I know is that this defensive line, they are not producing same old mistakes over and over each week. I mean, I hear the same thing as far as we got to clean this up and all that, explosive plays. Now they're depleted in their cornerback room again, so they've got to make some changes there. Coach Quinn said in his presser on Monday, it's on all of us. And that is the truth. It's on the coaches, it's on the players, it's on the organization, because right now, whatever they got going on is not working. So they got to go dig deep and try to finish this season up to correct some wrongs and everything. But hey, Rick, you've been around looking at this. You're hearing all these things too. Again, like Tony said, Super Bowl, how about just playing good? Because what you say, Tony, the Motor City, you just be running over.
Run over you. Hey, you know it's the Motor City. They'll run over you like a truck. And I tell you what, I like that coach. He's dangerous. I like their attitude. They got a lot of attitude, but the boys all play hard. And now they've lost a couple of games they should not have lost. Therefore, they're going to come in here, and then we, and I shouldn't say we because I ain't going to hit a lick at a snake. But if they're going to do well, if they want to get out of there, then it's going to have to happen for them. And I tell you what, it's I don't see it really happening. Hey, Rick, what do you think about it? Detroit's a good team. Do you think that they're the kind of team to come in here and hurt this team even more?
Yeah.
They dangerous.
They're dangerous because they're coming off a loss. And so he will just bear down on them, and all their awareness will come back. And this has been a horrible place for them. So this is going to be a haunted house. And I just hope that we respond by slowing the game down, choking that clock with runs. We suit Rodriguez up and just hope.
And, you know, I'm like down on that, but I want to go back to Mike because we let one facet go. And Mike, special team, not just here. Around the league, they call so many teams games. And that's what was astonishing, missing extra points and fumbling and everything. What's happening with the special team play around the league?
Well, you know how interestingly in NFL news this week, 68-yard field goal was made, but teams are missing extra points, and that really comes down to a point here, point there, and it can be that kind of differential can cost you the game. But Tony, when you all were talking about defense, the thing that really sticks out to me, and again, I'm never a player, but I love stats, and that is Jaden has 2.2 seconds to throw the ball. I had my little stopwatch with me last night up in the press box. 2.2 was the best I got. That's the longest period he had to throw the ball before he either scrambled or broke from the pocket. That's pathetic. That offensive line, as Donna said earlier, is intact. There's no excuse for that. Now, Darnold had 7 seconds once and an average of 4 seconds to throw the ball for those 4 touchdowns in the first half. So I don't know. They're moving Joe Witt Jr. down on the sideline from the press box. Maybe that'll make a difference. We don't see a lot of blitzing, but if you can't cover anybody and you start blitzing, all of a sudden you're going to have even more than 4 touchdowns in the first half. I don't even know, Tony, but I do know that Don is right. Jalen Lane needs to play better. He fumbled the ball. That cost him. That was 7 points. It made it 21 in the first half, and you just can't do that. And then he also the week before fumbled one down on the 5-yard line, and you can't do that either. So I don't know the answer, but you better find somebody that can handle the ball on special teams, because up till now, up till these mistakes, I mean, they've been the best unit of the 3.
Hey, Tony, can I go back to defense for a little bit? Because I
can't let you off
the hook. I can't let you off the hook because the defensive line, I understand about the injuries and everything, but look at this stat, Tony. The offense, the defense of the Seahawks had 4 sacks. Look at this little number right here for our defense, 0 sacks, Tony. And they really haven't been getting that many sacks this year in general. When you and then not only this, Tony, I'm gonna look at you another one. 418 total yards did they give up against the Seahawks. And then you got, like you said, Detroit coming in here. When you assess this whole defense, Tony, especially the defensive front, and they can't get no pressure and they run in between the tackles, the edge play, they just run around that. How do you correct this? Because they haven't been able to, Tony.
Like-minded. What you have out there, you have 11 individuals that's trying to show their worth, running in different directions, not concentrating on their moves, looking at containment of a quarterback, making sure you get off the ball, not making a big mistake when you got a chance to win. All of that is relevant right now. And if they want to get better, they need to clean up their acts. I open with that college aspect because that's what they played like. Those guys that were in there, and I'm calling you guys out. All you guys to sit back there with your fingers in your butt when people are hurt, and then you go pick up your check on Monday, then you get put on the game on Sunday, and it's an embarrassment. Start looking for another job. And we stopped giving out roadmaps. We just give apples now. And they can make it because that's all you're doing. There's no sense talking this game. Right now, they're at the pivotal point of the season. If they do not do well, Rick, you can tell me, at this time of the season, you don't even want to lose the flip. Let's go on anything else because everything counts. Oh,
so Rick,
he's reading it. No, he's
understand that.
froze.
No, I see what this thing about the yards per game, and I'm trying to figure out how they think when it comes to mixing the run game and the pass game. I can't figure it out.
Well, you know what it looks like to me, and Mike, you can follow up on this. We said they had to have that bell count. Kyle
Rodriguez.
I know it, but they seem to think he's a short-term running back. They want him for the tough yards.
Yeah, all of them is tough. Yeah,
he's a tough little runner, but it's for some reason they're not giving him the time. I believe if they gave him a few games, but he's such a hard runner, Rick. You know, that's just
I love
it. He's going to get sooner or later. He's going to break down. So we got so many things we're talking about right now, but at the same time, when you take a look at this, I'm going to ask one of you guys who, Don, I'll ask you because you're there most. Can this team still make the noise?
Can they still make what?
Noise.
Noise. They're not
making
Hey, Tony, not the way they're playing right. Tony, not the way they're playing right now. Let's be truthful and everything. This is 4 straight games that they've lost, and they haven't been able to clean up things each game. I mean, I know they said the other week when I asked Coach Quinn about simplifying things, scaling things back. Well, you saw that a little bit in the Kansas City game, but then a game later, it's back to the old thing, same old thing. And now with JD5 out, not taking anything from Mariota, but still, Tony, it's so many holes in this team right now to clean up. It's going to take some time. So if they could just do 1 or 2 things right come next week against Detroit, I'll be happy at least with that. But Tony, I don't know if they can, because they haven't proved. What did you say? Proof is in the pudding. Proof is on game day, and they haven't been able to show that when it counts most. So I'm not confident that they can do that because they haven't shown it.
Well, you know, that happens to a lot of teams, and they like the old bull, too old to be led, but too young to do it on your own. And I tell you what, they got to find that medium somewhere. They got to go and get it, and they stop looking at the season. That's why I asked that question. Season is not important right now. The next game is all you have to worry about. When we come back, you'll understand what I'm saying, because this is not the only team playing like this. If you watched all the games the last 2 or 3 weeks, the parity is here in the NFL. No team is a runaway. No team is a given win. No team is a team that everybody said can't be beat. So this is going to be interesting. That's why I asked you the question about, can they still make noise? You got, 7, 8 games left. If you win them all in a row, you can make noise, and we'll talk about that. They do have a chance. We'll be back in the morning.
Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Speakers Bureau offers you various opportunities to connect with former and current players, along with Tony and the crew. For more information, go to redmagplus.com, Speakers Bureau.
Frosted Flakes, good? They're great. Great.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya. They're great.
In week 9 of NFL news, here are a few highlights. The Eagles, always the most active and free to spend Jeff Lurie's money, felt they needed more pass rush, so they traded a 3rd-round pick to Miami for linebacker Jalen Phillips, who was a former 1st-round pick in 2021. The Eagles also added 2-time Pro Bowl cornerback Jair Alexander from the Ravens and cornerback Michael Carter II. They are definitely all in. The Patriots traded safety Kyle Duggar to the Steelers. That should help bolster the Steelers' back end, though the defense was stellar Sunday versus the Colts. The Patriots traded defensive end Keon White to the 49ers. Now, neither Duggar or White were in the picture for Vrabel and the Patriots next season. Sunday, there were some major upsets, and we probably should have seen Kansas City's loss to the Bills coming. The Bills own Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, but not in the playoffs.
Right now, the Chiefs are not even in wild card contention. That should change dramatically over the next couple of weeks. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels suffered a dislocated elbow on his non-throwing arm and is expected to miss several weeks. That should give his hamstring and knee a chance to fully heal as well. Daniels has been among the walking wounded this season with 3 different injuries. In more positive news Sunday, Jaguars place kicker Cam Little made an NFL record 68-yard field goal. And perhaps the biggest stunner was the Panthers' last-second win over the Packers on Sunday. I guess we should not be surprised, though up and down this year, Bryce Young and company are 5-4 overall. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud was knocked out of the Broncos game Sunday with a concussion, and he will be week to week. Bears quarterback Caleb Williams should take a bow. He threw for 3 touchdowns and even caught one Sunday. And finally, some major Cowboy rumors are heating up. One has Jimmy and Jerry reuniting. More next week. That's NFL News for now.
Well, welcome back. I tell you what, it's been interesting. And the one thing we do not want you to go away with this week is we just dogging these guys and we're not feeling sorry for them. Yeah, we're feeling sorry for them. We're feeling sorry for what they're going to realize they missed at the end of their careers when they never got an opportunity to go to playoffs or be in the Super Bowl. That's when you feel sorry for them. And I tell you what, Donna, it's not just here. And I don't want to be, and you know, everybody say, man, but you old people always talk the same thing. But it just seems to be around the league that the football is not the same at this point in time.
Nope, Tony, is not the same, but what is the same is our sports challenge, and it is heating up, and hey, maybe they need to spill over to them because they're doing a good job. So, Tony, let's see who's leading the pack this week in our sports challenge. And here we go, Tony. I mean, it's heating up here as far as Crystal City Pub, 9-9, Glory Days, 9-9, and GPOA and Crystal City Restaurant are both tied at 10-8, along with Van Allen Real Estate. And Tony, this past Sunday night, everybody picked with their hearts because they picked the Commanders over the Seahawks, and they stayed true to their home team, but it didn't come out right for them, Tony. And Monday night, the Cardinals are playing the Cowboys. And I want to go around talking to everybody about this. Tony, I'll start with you. You said that the Cowboys, you believe, may end up winning the division. I want you to back that up with why, because I think it's going to be the Eagles.
For the simple aspect that their quarterback is playing better than all the rest of the quarterbacks in the league. They're moving the ball. They just can't stop anybody right now. But if they come into the aspect of we got to outscore them, they can do that. Sooner or later, that defense will pull apart and it's going to be dangerous. No, don't think by no stretch of imagination am I rooting for that. But it just seemed to be sticking out there. You take a look and you probably say, well, the Eagles not going to let that happen. I have always, and you can ask Gary and Rick this, always rather play a team that's doing great in the beginning because I know in the end they won't be the same. So that's why I'm saying that there's a good chance Dallas could win it.
Hey, Rick, come on. Talk to me about this game. I know the Cardinals are not a team that anybody is talking about, and they have their struggles right now. And Dallas ain't got a defense that can stop anybody. They had a wake-up call against the Broncos after they destroyed the Commanders. Well, let's go right to Gary. How do you see this playing out, Gary, as far as you played for the Cardinals? How do you see this playing out for this coming week's game against the Cowboys?
It's a good question. I mean, a lot of times when you're playing teams that you play constantly, it's a throw up. Just like when we went 14-2, we still lost against the Cowboys, and I think they might have went like 9-7 that year, something like that. So it just depends on any given Sunday and who's prepared to play. the most prepared team will win the football game. If Dallas is the most prepared team, they'll win. If the Cardinals are the most prepared team, they win. The key is making sure that your players are always on point and not too hyped about themselves. When they get too hyped about themselves, you tend not to play as good, because it's okay to be cocky. It's great to be cocky, but it's cocky if you put in the work to be cocky. If you haven't put in the work to be cocky, like our players on Washington, they're cocky, but they haven't put in enough work to actually be cocky. So I think Dallas Cardinals, I think it's a toss-up, quite honestly. I think picking either team, you're not going to have a chance to lose or win.
Yeah, and Mike, this NFC East division is wide open. Who do you like this week as far as the Cowboys and the Cardinals? Are the Cowboys really a team that can win that division?
Yeah, I'm not sure who your starter is going to be for the Cardinals. So I would pick the Cowboys if I were picking. But I would say I just don't see the Cowboys with their defense winning this division, especially since Jeff Lurie has said about a month ago he didn't care how much money he spends. He's got contracts 6, 7, 8 years down the road after these guys stop playing. He said he doesn't care how much money he spends. He just wants to win. Man, is that some kind of owner? He signed an All-Pro today. He traded a third-round pick for an All-Pro linebacker. He picked up 2 cornerback. I mean, the guy wants to win. I don't see anybody beating the Eagles. I just don't. And I think they're back in the NFC Championship game. So
one thing about it, I don't know. Well, I think the Eagles are a team, but Tony, our Sports Bar Challenge is heating up. As you can see, it's close all the way across for great foods. You got various options right here. Great association if you're looking for officials, and then real estate. Van Allen Real Estate is your go-to place. And Tony, also our picks are on the screen right now. This week we've got the Ravens at the Vikings, we got the Patriots at the Bucks, the Rams at the 49ers, the Steelers at the Chargers, and the Jags at the Texans. The Ravens right now, Tony, has won 2 games in a row. Can they beat the Vikings?
Yeah, they can beat the Vikings. Matter of fact, I was a little bit surprised that the Vikings won this week. The Ravens are starting to get themselves back together, but see what they had a problem with. If they've been winning the last few years with a quarterback that ran quite a bit and caught quite a few passes. They bring in the big running back. Now they don't know who to start the game with. If it were I tell you what, Gary and Rick will tell you this, it's tougher if you got a team that starts running on you in the first quarter and they run the whole game. That's what they got to do. Quarterback will get his. They are coming back. This is the pivotal game right here. They win this game, they'll become dangerous again.
And Gary, I'm gonna go to you with the Patriots and the Bucks. Both of these teams are good teams, and the Patriots have surprised everybody. Who do you think wins this one? Because I know that you picked the Patriots.
Yeah, I think the Patriots going to keep surprising everybody. Nobody thought the Patriots would be where they are at the start of this season. I definitely didn't. So I think they're going to keep surprising people, even though they're going to play the Bucks at Tampa. I think they're going to surprise them and beat the Bucks as well, because they're just surprising everybody. Like they're that slow pony in the race that may come up and beat everybody at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, and we got some other games for the Rams and the 49ers, but I want to go to the Steelers and the Chargers because the Steelers surprised everybody beating Green Bay. Before we go to Ricky Irvin's fitness tip so that he can whip us all into shape.
Well, I was really surprised. The Steelers made a move too. They got Duggar. They got a safety. They traded for somebody else. So they know their defense needs work, but I really thought their defense played pretty well against the 7-1 team. And now they've picked up a decent safety. And I don't know. I think the Steelers might surprise some people down the road.
Hey, Tony.
I'm listening to you. I don't want you to miss Ricky Irvin this week. We're almost running out of time. And, we'll hear from him if we don't get him in.
I was getting ready to bring him in now. So, Tony, we all need a workout after we watch that game on Sunday night.
All right, leg extensions, hitting your quads. Right here. Money makers. You got to squeeze. If I didn't have pants on, you'll be able to see what they look like when you go up. But the key is to go up and have your toe up at the same time. So you kind of flexing, contracting your muscle as you're doing it. I don't want you doing this. You don't want you doing this at a gym. Up, hold, down, slow. Up, hold, down, slow. And don't forget with your toes up. Down, toes up. Hey, see how I'm squeezing it? I'm pausing about like a second or two. And then down, up. Of course, I'm going to put these down a little lower. I will do that. But again, just hold right here. I don't know why folks do this. If you hold here, it makes everything so much easier. All right, let's get you started. Here we go.
I actually love a leg workout.
Yes, you do. You got the big quads to show for it. That's for damn sure.
This is working on all this.
Yes. Quads up. That's why I love this one. Keep your toes up, and you got that pause in there. Up. There you go. Squeeze. Up. Squeeze. Yeah, there you go.
I really like this machine. This is Ricky's new machine.
Yes.
And Ricky, this is working all the way around in here.
Yes, yes. Again, so that's why it's important for me as a running back, because when I'm in my stance, I gotta be locked. I gotta be in position. You might be there for a long time, you never know. And these machines right here will help build that endurance in it.
Yeah, my prosthetic side needs build up, so this would be a perfect machine
How often
for
do
this.
you work your prosthetic?
Almost like trying it every day. That's why I ride the bike a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I tell you what, I look at that workout. I'm gonna have to get him a call quick, but I want to thank Doc Walker for coming in. I know that he's been working all night. I want to thank Gary Clark. He had to host something else. Michael Baker, myself, and Donna, we kicked it around. But one thing about it, we may have been a little negative, but we still root for the players on this team. So as we say, I never say goodbye. We say in the middle.
Frosted Flakes, good? They're great. Great.
They're still great, Grandpa.
See? Told ya.
They're great.
Highest scoring teams. But the story of the day was the Patriot defense, which surrendered a club record of only 86 total yards and sacked Burt Jones 5 times for 53 yards in losses.
On December 31st, the New England Patriots season of '78 would end in the playoffs. But there was no need to pity the Pats. New England had qualified for the playoffs by winning the championship of one of the strongest divisions in pro football, the AFC East. This is their story. This is how the East was won. With only 3 down linemen, defensive end pressure had to be constant, and it was. Left end Tony McGee led the team in sacks, while right end Richard Bishop, number 64, ranked second. McGee, number 78, entered the game in passing situations to pick a quarterback's pocket. Chicago for Week 7. The defense came up with another superb effort, holding premier runner Walter Payton to just 42 yards in greater glory.